Legend of Tarzan from, was this 2016?
Yeah,
it's not long ago, 2016, 17.
Yeah, not long,
one of the two.
Not long ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's the story behind it. I was going through my, Apple TV looking for something to watch, and you go on to Netflix and it shows, all the different movies that are coming to Netflix or whatever. And I saw Tarzan. I'm a huge sucker for a Tarzan movie. And I was like, oh, is this new? And it's saying new to Netflix. I was like, oh, a new Tarzan movie. I'm like, all right. And then I was like, oh, it's Alexander Skarsgård, Samuel Jackson. I'm like, that's not new. I know that movie. I have that movie. I love that movie. All right. Fire up the projector. Let's get going. So I went downstairs, get it going, pulled it up on the Kaleidescape, and I'm like, that's what's so great about streaming. Streaming's not bad. It's our commercials for what we do in our theater with top quality. Because I was like, it was, and I am telling, have any of you seen this yet in 4K?
I saw it in the
4K discs.
I saw it in the theater. I don't have the disc.
Okay. And so you saw the 4K disc, Steve? And
yeah, while ago, but yeah.
What's the disc have? Does it have Atmos? I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does because I have the 4K disc too.
I think it does too. Let me double check.
It is awesome. Absolutely. I mean, this, after watching, I hadn't watched The Good Shepherd yet, but the next one I'll talk about in a little bit, and some other things, and some streaming we've been doing, of course. I put this thing on, and I say thing, I put on The Legend of Tarzan. I was like blown away by the imagery, by the audio, everything about it. I was like, why hasn't this been a standalone show for me? I mean, because I saw Jen and I watched it a long time ago in the theater, probably before I had a podcast, and I loved it. I loved the story. I love the idea of it. How it's not like your typical Tarzan story. It's well after Tarzan became Tarzan, so it's like but then he does again. Here we go. It's like, imagine taking Tarzan out of mothballs, I guess. But it's so good. But the home theater experience, I wish I could just go into like every single scene. His scream, like when he finally does let out the, I'm not doing it. I used to do it a lot, but when Christopher Waltz has a great line when you finally hear it, and it's like really good. Christopher Waltz is awesome in this too.
Yeah,
right. I mean, oh my God. It's so good. So what did you guys think of the movie? Because it is hokey. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he does swing around by one arm.
I liked, again, I'm like you, I'm a sucker for a Tarzan movie because I grew up with the TV show and the movies, Johnny Weissmuller, Ron Ely, I watched all the Tarzan. So I'm a sucker for Tarzan. Yeah, I liked it. It's like I said, it's been a while. I haven't seen it since 2016, but I remember enjoying it. I mean, it is in my eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've got 900 movies saved that I'm going to buy eventually, but
we like to add to them every week.
Yeah, and I just added like 6 more today. So
it's I have seen this film twice. I saw the Blu-ray ages and ages ago, and then I bought the 4K disc, and I seem to remember getting this 4K disc for like £5. It was like brand new, and yet it was just on some crazy deal somewhere, because I've seen it twice, and I would struggle to tell you anything that happens in it, other than I seem to remember some quarry fight with mist and apes coming out of the mist. And that honestly, with a gun to my head, that's about the only thing I could remember clearly about it. And I'm a sucker for Tarzan movies as well. My personal favorite is still the animated Disney one. I love that film. But I think it's just something to do with the way that he surfs through along the branches. I think that's cool. And Phil Collins music. Anyway, that's me. So back to this. And I don't remember much about it. I remember it being, very forgettable. I think that's fairly oxymoronic, isn't it? Or just moronic.
Welcome to Brightside Home Theater Podcast.
Yeah. So I can't remember anything about it, but I do remember it being good. The disc is Atmos, as they're saying in the chat, and I've checked on my system here.
It is.
So it is Atmos.
Here.
Yeah. So it's, I remember it being good. I just remember the story being forgettable and just kind of not, and it just didn't really resonate with me. It's got Margot Robbie in this as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
In this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's an all-star cast. You know, it's a really good thing, but just a pedestrian sort of rote story from what I recall, and just not enough to live long in the memory. But it's a Warner's disc, and, you know, they're always good.
Yeah. You don't need, it's actually better. It's actually better that you don't remember, because then you can watch it over and over and be like, oh, the story's forgettable, but the home theater experience is awesome. So you get to sit there and go, oh, yeah, I know what's coming next. He swings from a vine. Yeah. Okay. It came out in October of 2016 in 4K. Yeah. So, it was probably I remember watching it I didn't see this in the theater. Jen and I bought it when it came out on disc, and I was like, I couldn't wait to see it. And yeah, seeing it now, I bet you the last time I watched this definitely wasn't on the Kaleidescape. Probably didn't have my Lumagen. Probably didn't even have my 4K projector yet. So this is the first time, and then never mind the upgrades I did for audio too. And I was just like, and what's funny is it's an upscaled to 4K. It's not a native 4K disc. I'm looking at it here. So I imagine the Kaleidescape's the same way, but it still looks awesome. But I think part of that is like what we say about Netflix all the time is like they know how to shoot stuff to make it look so dynamic and great. Well, they're in the jungle, and there's different, you know, they're in England, they're in the jungle, they're in these places, and it's an awesome home theater disc. Absolutely awesome home theater disc. So, and John, it is $14.88 on Amazon. New from $14.88.
Nice. Getting there. When it's $9.88, it'll be mine.
Talk to you when it's $9.88. Yeah. There we go.
Or £5, which is probably $9.88.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Current exchange rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. And I didn't even get to these ones. So after this is all still part of Tarzan. I come upstairs from watching that, and on the upstairs TV was the ending to Top Gun. So it's like, we're getting ready to go out for dinner. I'm like, gotta go back downstairs. Kaleidescape, the theater was still running. Go back downstairs, put on the end scene. Jen sitting there twiddling her thumbs. So I watched the entire end battle scene of Top Gun because it was playing on, I don't know, Paramount or whatever channel she had on, and she just left it on. That was her mistake. And then, of course, after watching that final battle scene, I had to go and, watch a couple of scenes from Maverick. So hopped on over there, watched a few scenes. We were late for dinner, but we didn't have reservations, so it was no big deal. But welcome to the mind of somebody with ADHD. Thanks for watching this clip from our live stream. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button so you can get the alerts on when we go live and when more clips come out. And don't miss out on the audio-only podcast that comes out on Tuesdays called Takeover Tuesdays, where listeners take over the show. I have other guests, and we just chat home theater. You can find it on any podcast streamer that you use. Thanks for watching. Hope to hear from you in the comments. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button.
Hey, Fred. This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.